In this video, I'm going to show you how selected columns from one sheet to another and include the formatting for the dates, and include the background color. We would like to produce a report for each salesperson on how much they've sold. Now, we're not interested in much of the data. We're only interested in the account number, the date that they sold it on, and how much they sold. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy just the account, those three columns, and we're going to go to sheet 2. And what I have on sheet 2 is I have the account number, date, and amount as a heading for this. And so now we select the salesperson. And so from a drop-down list, this is simply data validation and selecting from the list. And then I'm going to select Jan, and I'm going to run the report. And now if we go back to the sheet 2, we have the account number, we have the date, and we have the amount. So it has included the background colors, whatever the significance is of the background color for these ones. It has included the date format, and we've got them all copied. Now if we want to run a new report, the first thing that this report will do is, or this macro will do, is it'll clear all the data that is in the sheet. So let's run a new report. Now we're looking at the last one, and the first value was 970, just to make sure that it's clearing. So let's run a new report. And so let's go back to sheet 2, and it's 477.75. So obviously it has cleared the data, and this is actually the values for Susan as opposed to Jan. Let me show you the code. So here's my code. I've called the subs copy data, and I've declared datasheet as worksheet, report sheet as worksheet, end row, last row as integer, I as integer, N as integer, and salesperson as string. I've set the data sheet to sheet 1, and that's where we're getting our data from. I'm setting report sheet to sheet 2. I'm selecting report sheet, and then what I'm doing is I'm setting the value, whatever we've selected in A2, and that's the value that we're going to look for. And then what we're doing in the next couple steps is I declare whatever the last row is of this current data, and I've added one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clear from A4 to C, which is the third column here, and then to N, which is the last row, and then I'm clearing. Now I'm selecting the data sheet, and I'm declaring the end row current regions row count, and last row sheet 2 selection current region rows count. Now I equals 2 because we have heading rows, and do while sheets I1, so that's A1 value does not equal is not blank. Now when I include the code in my description of my video, I will not be able to put this symbol in the code because I'm not allowed to have these symbols in there. So I will have not equal to in brackets in here, but you can replace it with this symbol. If the datasheet cells I1 equals the value of salesperson, so if it's a salesperson, then go to the last row, and then report cells last row 1 equals sheets cells I equals 2. Now the color is important. So the background color, I've repeated the same row, but I've said now you copy the data and copy the color of the background on from both of these, from this cell to the new cell. And then I'm going down, and then I do it for the date. And the same thing is I specify the last row number format, and I specify how the date is supposed to appear. And the last thing I do is I say data rows, and then I'm doing the interior color again. So then you else if that doesn't work, then you go again, and again is you're doing the loop I equals 1 or I plus 1 end loop and sub. So I will include this in the description of my video. This is how you copy selected columns with the color and the format on the new data sheet. Please subscribe.